turn, but I'll be stronger. Gotta want to dream again. Take me where I've never been. I wanna go there. This time I'm not scared. Now I am unbreakable. It's unmistakable. No one can touch me. Nothing can stop me.
Good afternoon, Summoners, and we welcome you back to the country's most prestigious League of Legends tournament, the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series 2017 Summer Split. I'm Vulcan, and with me is Arctic. We will be your casters for the very exciting playoffs. After those grueling group stages, we are now on the first day of the playoffs against Mineski versus Acclaim Empire X.
Yes, indeed. And after a very interesting Game 1, which does propel Acclaim Empire X to their first victory, one step closer to the semifinals. The question is, will Mineski be able to recuperate and reverse things, or will AEX continue their plight towards kind of climbing their way to Rampage? But of course, we'll just have to see. But before that, let's go ahead and check out our schedule just so that we know where we're at right now. Of course, it's going to be only one match for today, as this is a best-of-5 series, once again, between the Pride of Iloilo AEX against the Monolith, I'd say. One of the more solid teams that we've seen consistently throughout the PGS, Mineski.
The whole history of PGS, Mineski will be fighting for their slot to the next stage, moving on to the Rampage 2017, the final stage of the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series, where Team Manila Eagles will be waiting who will be their challenger. But for that to happen, AEX or Mineski will have to fight Imperium Pro Team in the next stage of the playoffs, which is tomorrow. But onto our summoners who are actually following the PGS Digital Fan Art Contest. Quick reminder for you guys, remember that the duration has been extended until July 15. Today is July 14. Tomorrow is the last day of your submission.
So of course, if you guys want to join in on that, make sure to just select a player per team. So we have a total of 8 teams in the PGS, and create digital fan art. Again, it can't be the traditional, penciled pen, marker.
And then you scan it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the budget digital fan art.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, it has to be like complete digital, made through your PCs or tablets or whatever medium, so long as it is digital. But of course, for more information, all you have to do is visit esports.garena.ph/PGS, look for the article, and yeah, get the information right there.
Get the information and familiarize yourself with the mechanics. But onto what happened to the first game, which was really, I thought it was a game that Mineski had, but looking from all the highlights and the game itself, I think what Atlas said was true. They tried to force Celestial to snowball as hard as they hoped so, but in the end, they sold out. I think in the end, EXO and Gaigo, they actually fell more behind because of these high-risk, high-reward scenarios where AEX, they still came out on top.
And it's unfortunate because had that game prolonged a little bit more, that would have been potentially Mineski getting the comeback that they needed. But regardless, it did. Luckily for AEX, they were able to finish it off towards mid-game. So yeah, I mean, overall, really good by AEX right there. But of course, this is Mineski we're talking about. I have no doubt in my mind that they'll take all the necessary steps to potentially turn things around for them in Game 2.
When it comes to Acclaim Empire X, when they have an opportunity to close the game, it happens. Like, let's see, 4 members down. Suddenly, that they see this window of opportunity that let's push it all down mid, and that's how they secured the first game. As soon as all the members were wiped out, they took the chance. They all went down mid and destroyed the Nexus.
Yeah, and again, it's all about really living up to your win conditions in order to win you the game, and that definitely translated very well for Acclaim Empire X. But of course, we're just gonna have to see if that is a continuing trend for them as we head into the pick and ban phase between Mineski and Acclaim Empire X for second game.
Let's get straight to the drafting with Mineski on the blue side against Acclaim Empire X on the red side, whereas Mineski will be banning out the cannons Shen. So Johnny and Galia will be banned in this second game, but for AEX side, they will be banning out the Caitlyn, Elise, and Gragas. Knowing that Mineski is on the blue side, they have first pick.
Exactly, and what's really interesting here is that if you look at the bans, Zac wasn't actually taken out by AEX. Instead, they actually banned the Gragas, Elise, and the Caitlyn. So Mineski did make the proactive move to take out the Galio, but looks like in exchange, AEX will be able to secure the Zac for themselves. Although Mineski, leaving it to chance that AEX would ban Zac, I'm pretty sure they might have a game plan in order to work around the Zac. We'll just have to see if they do manage to execute. But looking at the pick so far, Thresh actually given much priority. DG actually, in my opinion, probably one of the better Thresh players in the PGX, along with Rox from Team Manila Eagle. So it's actually very interesting to see that. Looks like Mineski will be sticking to this Thresh pick overall. Kalista and Zac, of course, like we mentioned, Zac going to be locked in for Claim Empire X. Again, this is one of the champions that we have seen Tomsu excel on, even in splits past. Of course, technically this is a reworked Zac though, but regardless, we'll just have to see. Still, Zac, still one of the more potent picks that we have seen.
Whoa, AEX banning out the Twitch for their second phase. Mineski still thinking about it. They do not have access to the Jarvan, whereas Kaiko tends to pick the Jarvan top. So AEX right now, their drafting looks pretty aggressive, looks solid so far, but for Mineski's side, they are going to be prioritizing the Rek'Sai and the Talia for Exosen.
And yeah, I mean, with this Talia right here, because we've been talking a lot about how Mineski having come up fresh from Revival, so Talia was one of those champions that, in my opinion, really rose to prominence during that tournament right there. So hopefully this is something that Mineski was able to pick off from RR. And again, this is what I've been talking about right here, Mineski translating everything that they learned from that tournament onto the PGS playoffs here. But wow, looks like the Kog'Maw actually going to be locked in for Celestial.
This is the analogy of Atlas coming into the second game, where as I'm going to quote him right now, so Mineski right now, they have a newborn baby. It is called Celestial. And what they're doing right now is to baby Celestial so much that he will snowball and carry the game. This worked previously in the group stages, but for now, going on to the playoffs against AEX, I'm not sure that's going to turn out well, especially against the Braum and the Kalista.
Oh yes, but man, before we dig into that further, look at this. Again, this is what I love about Canon, the innovation that he brings to the table for Acclaim Empire X, bringing back the top Karma once again. You know, he's known for these very interesting picks, like such as the Morgana top and the Karma top as well, but in all fairness, he does bring this to play into much efficiency, and it actually works for the team. So again, this is what we've been talking about right here, that variable that Acclaim Empire X brings to the table, wherein unlike other teams wherein you could expect a little bit more, for AEX is a little bit different because they could just throw all these curveballs as early as the pick and ban, and again, it's manifesting right here.
So right now, we are completing on the drafting phase. So on thoughts for the picks, I'm pretty scared for the Kog'Maw pick, but let's get straight to the player matchup, the statistics against Exozen and Awaken.
Man, and that's a pretty hefty difference in terms of the KDA, 3.1 versus a 5.2 in favor of Awaken, as well as GPM, 805 to 885, but still CS per minute definitely lying towards Exosen a bit more. So it's definitely very telling in a way. You know, Awaken, again, the sense is kind of Awaken, goes for the kills, while Exosen, you know, really takes time in the laning phase to get as much CS as they can, which will eventually transition into better things for him towards mid and late. But of course, with the compositions locked in, ladies and gents, there we go. Of course, Mineski and Acclaim Empire X have everything locked in. It's all up to them right now. Root for who you guys want to see make it to the next stage. Of course, is it AEX? Ilo's Pride, hashtag AEX win. Of course, Mineski, one of the prime teams, consistent in the PGS, hashtag MSK win.
But let's get straight to the riff on to the second game of AEX and Mineski. Here we are, guys. This is live on the riff of the playoffs of the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Summer Split 2017. Mineski against AEX. This is the second game, whereas AEX, with the momentum from Game 1, will be carrying it to Game 2.
But I gotta say, though, looking at the composition that Mineski has, I really like what they're going for here. Again, I'm such a fan of this Talia whenever it's drafted because there's so much flexibility. Again, Weaver Swallow itself brings in a lot of utility, whether you want to use it defensively or perhaps offensively. So it all depends on how Mineski will be playing this out, living up to their win conditions here. So we'll just have to see overall. Then again, with Acclaim Empire X, like I mentioned, this Karma, another one of those unique picks that Canon brings to the table, use too much efficiency. Personally, I've actually tried, because aside from the Karma, he plays a really mean top Morgana, and I've tried it myself in rank. Probably not as good as he does, of course, for obvious reasons.
I bet you fed.
No, I did not feed, for the record. But it's very much, again, it's this level of innovation that I like from Canon, because at first you might think that, hey, that kind of looks weird, but once you kind of see it translate into game, that's where you realize, wow, it's actually working. And it works to the composition that they draft here. So overall, if you're going to look at it, again, with Mirmo on this Callista, it might not seem as much, but then again, he definitely gets a lot of protection away, whether it be coming from the CC control, coming from Tomsu, or again, the utility coming in from the Karma as well, along with Vanguard to boot on this Braum as a traditional support. So we'll just have to see. Again, Mineski definitely has a lot on their plate when dealing with Acclaim Empire X, but this is definitely a much more better draft that I like from Mineski in comparison to Game 1.
But we did see that from the bottom side. Mermu with the souls, they did spot out James starting the Raptors, so they know what's up. He is now on the Crux side, so we will be expecting some pressure onto the bot lane. Will we be seeing the same strategy that Mineski did in Game 1? I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing more of a routine gameplay from them, because first up, it worked for a while. They lost momentum, and that's what they lost. But this time, it's a Kog'Maw. So more babysitting will be required for the bottom lane for Celestial to scale up, because Kog'Maw, he needs a lot of work, but when you put that work onto a Kog'Maw, it's really worth it.
And the tricky part here is that for both AD carries, they actually, again, first blood actually happening.
First blood onto the bottom lane side. Mermu gets taken by Celestial. That would be a 1-for-1 trade, but the first blood has more value.
Indeed, but even so, the fact that, and if you're going to compare it, a support for a carry, Celestial definitely gets a lot more benefits out of that, in my opinion. And it actually leads me to my point wherein these are two champions, Kog'Maw and Callista, that kind of need to be babysit a lot to a certain extent. Because if not, if you kind of leave them to rot, then that's where things get tricky for them. So let's go ahead and check out what happens here, though. So again, a great initiation coming in from AEX here, but Mirmo underestimating the fact that Hums was actually within the vicinity in exchange, gets that kill. So there we go. Again, very early action on. We're not even 3 minutes into the game.
Not even 3 minutes into the game. First blood is onto Mermu. So from that, he picked up the call. Refilling potion. Doran shield. That is a pretty solid laning phase item. Whereas for Mineski Celestial, he didn't get much out of that. He did not recall yet. So when it comes to the laning phase so far, Mermu will have an easier time for now, unless Celestial does go back. But CS-wise is more important, and Celestial will be staying.
Indeed. Overall, again, it's kind of like what Atlas pointed out. In these games, there's definitely a lot of bearing with these junglers to really perform here. Tom's actually now within the vicinity to kind of counter the proactivity from Hummus during that first 3 minutes of the game. But still looks like we'll be going for a call instead.
For recall, high risk, high reward scenarios will be working for both teams. But looking at the minimap so far, we are seeing James invading the space of Tamsu. Goes to the Krugs. Might be expecting a gank from the top lane. Cannon, though, with the Karma top, fending off really well against the Jace. He did start with the Corrupting Potion.
I like the fact, though, that Mineski was able to draft this Jace, so it looks like Tomsu actually...
Ooh, the hell of the Raptors! Axel gets knocked back. Very low on mana. He does have the flash. Hamas is there. Awaken still sticking up to it. Kaigo's going in. Oh, Cannon, though, out position, has not enough mana. Awaken! Gets taken. Oh, actually, Awaken gets the reverse kill onto Hammond.
Looks like action happening.
Oh, the bottom Mermo's very low. Stun lock onto Celestial. Celestial takes the kill. And Vanguard will be running away. Probably giving a double kill. They're still going for it. The Frostbite will not connect. Vanguard will be taken down. A double kill for Celestial.
Yo, dude, that is going to hurt like there's no tomorrow. Flash out. Coming in from...
Because you're scared. Yes. When you're scared, there's that panic button. You need to flash out. Because if Celestial actually died there, that's a bad record. You want to have a clean game.
That would have been tricky because because of that extension of it, he was taking a little bit of that minion aggro, so that was definitely a necessary flash there from Celestial, because at the end of the day, 3-0 for this Kog'Maw. Great start for him.
James though gets knocked there with the wolves. Now Tamsu is very low. Exo's there. Does Tamsu have flash? He does have the flash. He might get away though, but he's just playing around. Does not want to get spotted by Exo. 3 members colliding onto him. Flash bumping the wall, and I don't think we'll be seeing a teleport save there. The kill will be going to Exo.
Very well played there by Mineski, getting the response right away, and this is technically the tricky part right here. Tamsu is very much known for kind of these invade plays where he tries to deny from the jungler here, but it kind of goes both ways. If it goes successful for Tamsu, then good for him. Definitely a good denial from Thomas, but if it goes south for him, such as that instance wherein he dies, then that's a lot more positives that Mineski could build up on. And 4-2 right now, plus the fact that the prime carry that they want to really get going, which is Celestial, now 3-0.
Oh boy.
A lot that he has to deal with.
Getting slowed by Vanguard. Here comes the Weaver's Wall. Exo making his way in. 2 members of AEX in big trouble. Vanguard's very low. Murmur will be soloing Celestial. Celestial takes the kill, whereas James will be taking down Vanguard. 4 members in the bottom lane.
Man, Mineski, definitely a different beat that we're seeing from them in comparison to Game 1. The tricky part there was that earlier during Game 1, Mineski with the same proactivity, just that it didn't lead to much success, but definitely Mineski right now, you know, a different story unfolding. A lot of success with their proactivity, and if they keep this up, you know, I'm not sure Acclaim Empire X could deal with it at this point, because as far as what I can see, Mineski, looking at their history as a team, they actually, in my opinion, thrive in these best of 5s, best of 3s, wherein sure, they might have a bit of a shaky start, but the longer they go into these best of 5s, the more that they're able to learn from their mistakes and make the necessary adaptation. So that's something I actually worry about AEX at this point, because if they're not able to adapt, gain that level of adaptability that Mineski has, then I'm not sure that their Game 1 would eventually translate into more wins for them later on in this best of 5.
Especially the fact that Mineski, they're still sticking through that same strategy. Go to the ball lane, 4 members, go for a dive. This time, we're seeing not much of a tower dive, more of a dive that favors Mineski more. So this is going to be more of a calculated dive, whereas Mineski will be getting more out of it with a kill score of 6-2. I think Mineski is having a good start. With Celestial, 4-0-0, almost completing the Blade of Throwing King. He's going to be pretty much dealing a lot of damage soon.
And this is what I like about this. Again, I've been heavily a fan of this Jace pick for Kaigu, because in a way, it kind of balances things out in the sense that since Canon did go for this Karma top, if it were, let's say, a melee champion that Kaigu went for, then that's where I feel that he might have struggled a bit more. But because of going for this Jace, wherein he could easily match Canon in terms of going for that ranged poke, then it's very good for Kaigu. So overall, this is actually a refreshing level of adaptability coming in from Mineski. So we'll just have to see if this translates to a win for them.
I really love what PG is doing in the bottom lane side, because nothing spells confidence than showing off your bat. But right on top side, Kaigo goes in on Tamsu. Tamsu is still sticking to Kaigo, whereas Exo is still trying to make his way in. Will be a bit too late. Cannon dies under the turret. James flashed for that. Tamsu is still chasing Kaigo. Exo is there. Kaigo flashed away. Awakens, sticking to Exo. And right now, Tamsu getting a lot of damage. Exo picks up the kill. Here comes the Ties of Blood. Kaigo very low. Will he get taken down? Oh, he survives that!
Wow, 9-2 now for Mineski. They are just on a roll at this point. And I gotta hand it to them. This is the same level of proactivity that we've seen from them in Game 1, but the difference is that because of the kit of their overall composition, there's definitely a lot more guarantee as to securing these kills here. So overall, again, AEX, they're just really feeling the pain. I feel that the problem here with AEX is that they find themselves in these scenarios where they get caught off a lot across the map, whether it be bot lane, top lane. So this is something that AEX needs to resolve, because even in Game 1, let's say, sure, they did pick up a win, but that was one of the problems that I actually had with them regardless. Because, sure, you may have won, but there's still those points that you could still improve on. And I think that's something that Mineski is really capitalizing on with AEX's squad here.
And for the top side, they got a huge chunk of gold and a really good lead. They did get the first turret of the game. Kaigo right now is looking pretty good so far. He did push out the top side turret, so this is going to be more room for Mineski to roam around. Teleport's almost off for Kaigo, so this gives more pressure for the bot side if ever Mineski chooses to go for that aggressive tower dive we saw in game 1. But from what happened there, AEX they overcommitted. I thought Awaken would be picking off Kaigo at least, but from that sustained damage coming from Kaigo, that was not enough.
Indeed. But yeah, I mean, looking at the board for Mineski right now, 3-1-3 for Hamas, 2-0, 4-0 for Italia and Kog'Maw respectively. That's insane.
Oh, James though, spotting out 4 members of AEX. He gets caught off guard. Lantern will be saving him. For now, Reaver's roll for the call off. 2 members of AEX gets cut off by Mineski. Let's bounce over the wall, leaving Tamsu to fend for himself. Axel picks up the kill onto Awaken, and now a shot down for Murmu. Now double kill for Axelsen. Axelsen still trying to make some kills, but he's very low. Murmu going onto the turret. 3 members still alive for Mineski. That would be a 1-for-1 trade.
Man, that could have potentially have gone right for AEX. It's just that the problem is, again, because of the lead that Mineski has, they couldn't really match the damage because of the overall leads across the board for all members on Mineski. And again, as Rockhart would kind of peg it, Tamsu got a great quote-unquote kidnap onto the members of Mineski, but because Mineski is so ahead...
But his kidnap went towards his own death.
Yes, exactly. That's the problem there, because Mineski, because of the leads, AEX couldn't really deal in terms of these heavier clashes when they're a bit more on the complete side. So let's go ahead and check out what happened here. So TG, great save onto Hamas, by the way. Again, Lantern was definitely crucial. So they were able to get Hamas, but look at the damage output coming in for both Exos and Celestial. Because the rest of AEX wasn't able to reach in towards that backline, you know, they couldn't really deal. They just had to respond to what was already there for them as presented by Tamsu. So overall, it just didn't really work for AEX. And at this point, unless AEX really gets the gears going, wherein they could proactively turn things around, I could honestly say that this may be the first win for Mineski in this best of 5.
Looking at the kill score, 11-3, that's a huge lead, especially when it comes to the gold. But I don't think AEX will let that slide. They're still trying to offer more pressure to the bot side.
Great play there coming in from TG, and that kind of puts Awaken's exhaustion of his ghost to move there.
He did spend his ghost to chase them off, so that's 1 summoner down for Awaken. He has yet to complete his Proto Belt, so he will be having a really hard time closing in the gap.
At this point, I'm kind of worried for AX because they seem to be fumbling after these losses here that...
Oh, look at the damage from Exo. That's decisive.
Man, that's pretty hefty. And technically, this is what I really like about Talia. There's just so much creativity you could do with the kid, whether it be in terms of damage, the Weaver's Wall, the CC that she brings in general. So this is just Mineski really, or AX rather, playing into the hands of Mineski at this point.
So things are a bit slowing down for AEX, but Mineski, they're still going in very fast. They want to end the game with haste. They don't want AEX to come back from their deficit, because this is AEX we're talking about. Even though with this kind of deficit, they still tend to make this really good plays, the clutch plays that really change the tides of fight in the clash. So right now we'll be seeing the mountain journey being taken by Mineski. They are spotted by a teensy ward, but no contest will happen.
I love the results coming in from Mineski here again because of this substantial lead that they have. They're just really toppling over AEX, not really granting them any form of opportunity to get back into this game. So again, I'm not sure AEX really knows what to do at this point, because technically at this stage of the game they want to try to maintain on equal footing with Mineski, because they want to allow windows of opportunity for both Awaken and Mirmo to just kind of pick things up. But because again, both Awaken and Mirmo are kind of behind, so tricky indeed.
Look at Axel landing those stones, stoning Awaken to death.
Yautza, that is just very tricky.
Oh boy, Tamsu catches the hook. So things are looking pretty bad for AEX. Turrets wise, 4 turrets down for them. AEX have nothing, no objectives, no lead yet with an AK goalie for Mineski. Things are looking pretty bad for AEX, whereas they have to come back from this. The aggression from game 1 still showing in game 2, this time more calculated.
What I worry for about AEX is that these are clear weaknesses that are starting to appear. Clearly, if you don't get members such as Awaken, such as Mirmo popping up in the earlier phases of the game, then it's pretty much a struggle for AEX continuously transitioning into the mid and late game. And that's kind of where Mineski had a hard time earlier, because Awaken was so ahead during game 1. regardless, they weren't able to deal with that, and it allowed AEX all the more room to just kind of get back. But because none of the key carries are not even on equal ground with Mineski at this point, it's just overall AEX just trying to respond to what they can, and Mineski just continuing the proactivity, continuing their dominance in this game, and it's definitely working very, very well into their favor.
Especially the KDA of Celestial and Exo. Identical, same KDH with a perfect game, and the itemization are none of the defensive, so they're going for straight offensive. More damage coming out from the members of Mineski. 2 carries really bringing the pain, whereas AEX, we can just finish up this pro bell right now. Whereas we're seeing Mermo not yet completing the Blazes to Ruin King, so this spells trouble. And right now Cannon, he picked up the Run of the Ages, 2 charges in with a Ninja Tabi. A late scaling item, but I don't think that's a good pickup, judging how the game is going so far. Right now, look at Cannon right in public. He's pushed until his inhibitor turret. That is bad news.
Man, and looking at the gold difference, almost leaning towards roughly 5,000 to 6,000, dancing around that number. Doesn't seem like much, but take into consideration of the fact that we're only 16 minutes into this game, that's substantially huge. Let's say, probably if it were 25 to 30 minutes, it would be okay.
Here it comes.
But
this might be a closing statement because the Rift Herald is summoned at this very early turret, so they will be needing the Rift Herald for now. So that inhibitor turret will be definitely taken down. Mineski, they're not waiting it out. Exo trying his best to cut him off. Rift Herald for damage, and Tamsu goes in for the kidnap. Celestial flies it away. Oh no! Oh, still on the Celestial. A stun landed by Tamsu, but no follow-up onto Celestial. He did get stun locked. Tamsu still going in. Vanguard gets taken out by TG, but Awaken will be taking out Celestial. And right now, Merm still alive, going on to Exo Zen. 4 members still healthy so far for a 2-1 trade in favor of AEX.
Man, AEX, again, this is kind of the clear manifestation of AEX really wanting to converge onto Celestial, take down that heavy threat coming in from Mineski, but still regardless, Kaigu, if I'm not mistaken, Kaigu wasn't even in that fight.
Yeah, don't give
So
up.
that was a 4v5. And still, let's say, sure, AEX was able to get 2 kills, but it's scary because Mineski, in a sense, they didn't have all their damage output in that fight. Let's say if it were a full 5v5, that easily would have swayed in favor of Mineski.
That just goes to show the power balance for Mineski. And more of an imbalance for AEX because Kaigu was not there. He is pretty much... He didn't contribute anything to that fight because he was still pushing the top side. So this spells bad news. Tamsu getting caught by TG. Flay will be denying the selection of Tamsu. He gets choked down by Celestial.
Oh man, Mineski just really milling over members of Acclaimed Empire X here.
Oh, when the Zac made through, they picked up the Thresh first, right?
Yes.
I don't know why AEX picked up the Zac. Knowing that a Thresh was the first pick for Mineski, why go for the Zac where the Thresh can effortlessly deny your whole existence in the game? And here comes the Weaver's Wall.
Indeed, that was almost like a predicted move from Mineski, almost daring AEX to take that Zac.
Inhibitor is exposed. Slavers are still sticking out to it. Awakens pretty low. He can't go in yet. He does not have the flash and Ghost, but does have his ultimate. Cannon going in, trying to tether down Kaigo. Tamsu going for the side. Changed his mind. There's a shock blast to maul them down little by little. The inhibitor is going to be taken out slowly, but Mineski still sticking out to it. Kaigo, oh, and the play from TG denies Tamsu's engage. Axel picks up Mermo, and Vanguard's left alone. I think TG and Axel said we'll have a really good time with him, but not a good time for TG. Kaigo, low on mana, can't poke down the 2 members left for AEX with 3 members down.
Is this going to be the game though?
Whoa,
Man.
19 minutes and 41 seconds into the game, 16-5 kill score. I think Mineski are showing us that this is what we're bringing into the playoffs.
Man, ladies and gents, with all said and done, what may be one of the fastest games for summer 2017.
Yeah, for the playoffs right now, we're going on the first day. Really fast game, efficiency by Mineski, shutting down AEX before they can even scale up. So, wow, I gotta say, this is a best of 5 series. I think Mineski is showing us that they are not yet out of the game.
Definitely not at all. If anything, proving that they're actually quite stronger, learning from the mistakes of Game 1. Let's let's go ahead and talk about what really went wrong for AEX in my opinion. Again, it's all about the positioning. As far as how those waves were, or generally how the lanes were pushed in towards bot side, if you notice, if you're going to compare it to Game 1, the difference was that Mirmo and Vanguard, whenever they get ganked by Mineski during Game 1, it's kind of leaning towards their side of the tower. But if you can notice, going into Game 2, it was actually Mirmo and Vanguard quite pushed out a lot. So that actually grants much more efficiency for Hamis whenever he goes for ganks, which is why he was really able to get things going for Celestial and Teachy within the first few minutes of the game. So overall, wow.
I gotta say, bot lane for AEX, they just got completely shut down by Mineski's aggression. Look at the KD of Celestial, 525 on a Kog'Maw, and the damage dealt by Exocet is more than enough to show us how the game went. With 19 minutes and 45 seconds ending the game, I gotta say, Mineski, they are still on for they're still running for the final stage of the PGS.
Indeed, and I gotta hand it to them. Looking at the damage output, it's almost deceiving in a sense. You kind of think that you want to get onto Celestial, but you're thinking that it's the Kog'Maw that we need to get to. But in fact, looking at the damage output coming from Exocet is actually very telling as to how much of a threat he was himself during that game. So, man, Mineski, again, with this 1-1 right now, clearly it's anybody's game in this best of 5.
So what a good game it was for Game 2, ending with a 1-1 Mineski Navs Game 2 away from AEX. So this will be moving on to Game 3. I am Vulcan, and with me was Arctic. We have been your shoutcasters for Game 2 of the Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Summer Split 2017 Playoffs. We will be back after a short break. AEX gets cut off by Mineski. Let's bounce over the wall, leaving Kamsu to fend for himself. Axel picks up the kill onto Awaken, and now a shutdown for Mirmo. Now double kill for Exocet. Exocet still trying to make some kills, but he's very low. Mirmo going on the turret. He goes in for the kidnap. Celestial flies it away. Oh no! Oh, still on Celestial. A stun landed by Kamsu, but no follow-up onto Celestial. He did get stun locked. Kamsu still going in. Vanguard gets taken out by TG, but Awaken will be taking out Celestial. And right now, Mirmo's still alive. Going on to Exocet. 4 members still healthy. So far, the nice time to engage. Axel picks up Mirmo, and Vanguard's left alone. I think TG and Exocet will have a really good time with him, but not a good time for TG. Kaiju, low on mana, can't poke down the 2 members. Showing us that this is what we're bringing into the playoffs.
Man, ladies and gents, with all said and done, what may be one of the fastest games for summer 2017.
Yeah, for the playoffs right now. So the first day, pretty fast game, efficiency by Mineski, shutting down AEX before they can even scale up. So wow, I gotta say this is a best of 5 series. I think Mineski is showing us that they